When I first started using Cwicly, we had template parts, but since then we've had the introduction of components. And as I go through and try and rebuild my website here just to get more familiar with how Cwicly works, I'm starting to consider whether or not I need template parts or whether or not I should just use components. And so something that I learned today I want to share in this video, because I found an instance where it actually makes sense to replace a template part with a component. So let me run you through how this template part is set up, and then we'll convert it into a component. So here I have my single template. And this structure of blocks and template parts within the template is the same through most of my templates. I have my header template part, I have my post title template part, I have some content, and then I have the footer. So that's the single template. If I go to my index template, it's exactly the same. And if we look at my pages template, it's the same again. Now, the template part that we're going to look at in today's video is the post title. So if I expand this out to show you what's inside, it's a template part with a section and a container. And inside there is a div, which gives it that blue background and the rounded corners and the padding. Then we have a heading block, and then we have our paragraph. Now, because I'm using this template part within different contexts, I actually have functions that are outputting the values for the heading and the values for the paragraph. So if we have a look at this heading and go over to the dynamic inserter, you can see that whatever this function returns is output as the header. So see post title. And if we have a look at the paragraph, the byline, have a look, whatever's returned by this function is output here. And here's that function in a custom plugin I use to manage my code. I help solopreneurs to grow their businesses online with WordPress. If it's my blog page, it says articles. And if it's an archive, we get the archive title. And everything else, so a page or a blog post, we output the name of the blog post. Down here for the byline text, if it's the home page, we say without hiring a developer. And if it's a singular post or product review, I output the date that the post was last modified. And anything else, I'm just going to return an empty string, which means I don't want to output anything. And here's all of that in action on my website. So this is my front page template. I help solopreneurs without hiring a developer. If we go to a page, we just output the post title, no byline text. If we go to my blog homepage, we say articles. And if we go into a single blog post, we output the name of that blog post and the post date. So this is obviously all set up and it's working in my website, and I could just leave it like this. But it had me thinking, if I converted this into a component, maybe I wouldn't have to go and manage code outside of Cwicly inside of my code editor. Because I guess the more things you can do natively within the builder, the easier it is to manage and the more sense that it makes. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to disable the dynamic inserter here. So we just click on that, and then over here, we'll click on that. And then let's convert this to a component by right-clicking and clicking Create Component, giving it a name and clicking Create. So now we have inside of our template part, a section, container, and our component. Let's modify our component and start adding properties. So here I'll click to add a property for our headings content. So I'll say heading, and we want to use dynamic data here because we do want to pull in the post title. So I'll go advanced and click connect. And then same with the paragraph, we'll click over to here. I'll add this and we'll say byline. And this too will be advanced because we do want to use the post date, which is dynamic data. And I don't always want to show the byline text because on pages we don't. So let's click on visibility, and up here we'll say show byline, and this will be visible by default, and we'll click connect. Then I'll exit out of this and out of that. And now if we come up and we click on our component, we now have the ability to customize it. So I'm currently editing my pages template. So for this, I know that my heading here, I want to map that to the current WordPress item. So whatever page that I'm looking, I want to output the post's title like that. And I don't want to output the byline text on a page. So I'm going to set that to hidden. I'll click save and save. And here's my affiliate URLs page, which is using the pages template. We're outputting the post title and the byline text is hidden. Exactly what we want. Moving to my single template for my single blog posts. If we expand this up, we can see there's the component in there. It's dynamically outputting our heading, which is exactly what we want, but we want to put the date modified for that post as the byline text. So if we set that to visible and then click here to map data, and we set this to WordPress and then to the post date and then the last modified date and output it as this format, and click save, here's one of my posts that is using the single template. Here's one of my posts that is using the single template. It's outputting the post title with the date modified. But if we go back to a page now we're incorrectly getting the output of the date for a page. So maybe obvious, but something to keep in mind here is that whatever you add into a template part does not change based on the template you're editing. So if this is in a template part here and I'm editing my single template, if here I say show byline and I map that to the date, any template that this template part is added into will use these settings. They don't change on a per template basis. So the way to get around this is to move the component outside of the template part. So with that done, I'll just remove that. So now we need to modify our component, and instead of it just being the div, we actually need to put the section and container as part of this component. So I'll move that there, then that would be inside that. Then I'll go and we will customize this. So this is the page template. So for pages, we don't want to show the byline, and we don't need to map that to anything. We just want to output the post title there, which is set up here. So if we click save and reload, we've completed our page template. Here inside of our single template, let's go ahead and we will add our component for the post title into the page, and then we'll drag that into place. I will remove the template part, and for our single template, we want to map the heading to be the post title. So we'll go down and do that there. And for the byline text, we do want to show this, and we want to map this to the date last modified and output it like that. So let's save that, reloading. So this is all good. And if we go to our home page, we need to edit our front page template and remove the template part, and then insert our post title component, move it into place. And then here, we're not mapping anything, we're hard coding on this instance, this as the heading, and then this as the byline. We'll click to save, and if I reload, the homepage is done. If you need help building a website with Cwicly, then definitely head to my contact page. I'll leave a link in the description below. And on my screen right now is an entire playlist of other Cwicly related tips. So click there and I'll see you in some of those videos.